Hello, I'm CrispinGlover.com for SuicideGirls.com.
We're looking forward to talking to you about Beowulf.
Very good.
So you play Grendel.
That's correct.
And there's a very complex kind of sympathy to this character, you
Yes.
know, as this anti-hero.
Yeah.
And ever since, you know, Beowulf was written in 700 AD, there seems to have been kind of an unending debate as to whether or not Grendel is a tragic figure or merely a monster. You know, so what kind of like attracted you to this character that people have been trying to figure out for centuries?
Well, I don't know if you said it on purpose, but you said you called Grendel an did you say anti-hero?
And yeah, in the literary world, that's always kind of pegged as an anti-hero, you know.
That's interesting, because I actually would think of Beowulf in this particular rendition of the story. Beowulf himself is an anti-hero.
Exactly.
Because there's a complexity that's given to his character that there's a lot of questions as to what the real antagonism lays within Beowulf himself, and that's a very interesting thing. In the extant poem, as far as I understand, from what I've viewed, it seems to me that Grendel is pretty much an antagonistic character. I suppose I can see why there's debate, because he comes in and he gets mutilated and dies. so there is a certain amount of sympathy, but there has not been, in that extant poem, there is not an exploration into the psyche of that character. One can imagine, and I think that's something that Roger Avery and Neil Gaiman have successfully done, is render what the psychology behind that character is. And it was an excellent character to play, and I really, it was very clear in the writing what those elements that my character were after, specifically having to do with the pain that was being caused in my hearing situation, and then an additional amount of pain, which was something Robert Zemeckis suggested, was that everything that I was doing to quell the pain that was being caused by the hearing pain was causing additional pain. So every element had a action and reaction. Yeah, absolutely.
So this is also the first time you've worked with Robert Zemeckis since Back to the Future. How was it working with him again?
Well, it was a very good experience, and but when I initially heard of the interest in me for the role, I did have question, because there had been a lawsuit about the sequel to Back to the Future. They had hired another actor and put him into a false nose, chin, and cheekbones in order to make him look like me, and then interspliced a very small amount of footage of me from the original film, in order to fool audiences into believing that was me. And because of my lawsuit, there are laws in the Screen Actors Guild that make it so that no directors or producers or actors are able to do that again. So I'm glad that was the result of the lawsuit. But I fund my own films now, and I tour around with, I'm touring around with the second film that I've funded, and the first film I directed and wrote and edited and distributed, and I'm doing the same thing with the second film, which I co-directed and produced, and I'm very passionate about both of these films, and I take a lot of time and put a lot of money into it. And but they have taboo elements that are not put forth in corporately funded and distributed film, which I think is an important thing to do.
Well, we should get you involved with SuicideGirls.com.
Yeah.
We'll do some stuff for those films. We'd love to keep working with you.
I would be very happy to. But like I said, the decision to act in Beowulf was relatively a simple decision to make, because I knew that the money that I would make in this film, I could continue putting into these films that I'm financing. And this was a classic piece of literature where I'd be playing this famous character of Grendel, and then I got to work with all of these excellent actors, and then I ended up having an excellent working relationship with Robert Zemeckis. So it's all worked out. Yeah, absolutely, in a very positive fashion. And now I'm going to be opening the film at the same time as the sequel to my first film at the same time as Beowulf, and people can find out where I'll be on CrispinGlover.com.
Awesome. Well,
so,
we'll definitely check it out on
that would be great.
SuicideGirls, and thank you for your time.
All right, well, thank you too.
A sword! Give me a sword!